Conference with head coach Don Lucia, student athletes Kyle Rao and Nate Condon. We'll start with an opening statement from head coach Don Lucia.
Well, I thought that was the type of game we needed to have tonight. We were led by our captains, and both Nate and Kyle had outstanding games tonight. And you get to this time of the year, your leaders have to step up and do the job and lead the way. And I thought both of them set the tone. They contributed offensively. They were very noticeable in their play all over the rink. So it's just nice to get through the first one. I mean, in many ways, I think the first game in this tournament is the most difficult, just from the standpoint of pressure and everything else that the kids go through. And we had a lot of freshmen playing their first game. A lot of them contributed from an offensive standpoint. So Robert Morris played very well. You could see that top line. There's a reason they had 60-plus goals on the season. When they get a chance, they can bury the puck. And we feel good about advancing, and now we'll sit back and wait and see who we play tomorrow.
Questions for the student athletes? Right here in the first row.
Nate, first period as it wound down, it really looked like the game was sort of settling in, nothing. Then you led a great rush and scored the goal. Talk about that first goal and just how much pressure it relieved for the team.
Yeah, well, our team's been great this year when we scored the first goal. I don't think we've lost too many games, so we always like to get the goal first, and sort of just came down the ice and shot it through a screen and went in the lower corner. So I used the defenseman as a screen and kind of just used my speed to push the pace a little bit.
Next question. Right here in the third row.
This is for Nate or Kyle. Robert Morris, even though when they were down 4-0, they never quite gave up. They kept kind of coming back. How did you guys stay on top of that?
I mean, this time of the year, no one's going to give up. It's their season on the line, so we need to take that into account and use it for tomorrow because we know that no one's just going to fold over for us.
Anything to add, Nate?
Yeah, just the same thing that Kyle said. No one's going to give up. They're going to battle right to the end, and we kind of just need to get that mentality where we can play a full 60 minutes, and that was something we're really preaching is that, if we're going to go far here, that we need to play a full 60. So even though it was, we were up by a couple goals, we got to keep playing.
Next question. Right here in the question here in the middle.
This question is for Nate. What was going through your head when you had the puck right at the stick and empty net way down the ice?
Well, we were shorthanded, so I think just throw it. And, thankfully it went in. I mean, I wasn't really hoping for it. I mean, I was obviously hoping for it, but, it's just one of those things where I just turned through it. Thankfully it went in.
Other questions for student athletes here in the second row?
Nate, after last week's game against Ohio State, you guys kind of struggled to convert on some chances. It seemed, once you got that first goal, you guys were able to really take advantage of the chances you had to score, which is obviously so important this time of year. How big was it to do that? And then not only that, but once Robert Morris crept back in to take advantage of some more chances and put the game away?
Yeah, well, I think in hockey the momentum's a big thing, and so anytime you get a couple goals, obviously things are going to start going your way, and guys kind of settle down and start playing their game. So, 1 goal, 2, 3, I think we had in the first period, and guys just kind of feed off that and keep going, and they came back and put up a couple, so you can see how the momentum worked for them, and then you just got to battle through those things and kind of just stick to your game and play sound defense and hopefully get a couple more shots.
Other questions for student athletes? First row.
This is for Nate and Kyle. Do you guys enjoy the home ice advantage a little more, or can it be kind of tough too when you know that all those expectations are literally sitting right in front of you there?
We enjoy it. I mean, we've been really fortunate that the regional's right here in our backyard, and we got the best fans in college hockey, and they're supporting us tonight, and I'm sure they'll come out tomorrow and do the same.
Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, you can tell right away from when they announced the lineups that we had quite the home crowd, so it was great, and I think it got guys really motivated to play, and anytime you have that many people cheering for you, it just gives you that energy that maybe you can't find otherwise.
Question here in the first row.
Nate, Don talked about a lot of freshmen on this team. How nice is it to see a lot of these guys who haven't had this experience yet to contribute tonight?
Well, it's great. Obviously it's their first playoff game like this, and kind of had to break them in, and it was great to see, Klus, Hudson had a goal. You know, we need those guys to produce for us because they have been all season, and I think that they really stepped up today and played well. So it's going to be good for us going forward that we can count on them and really you know, continue playing how we played all season.
Any final questions for the student athletes? Thank you, Kyle. Nate, you can head back to the locker room. The Minnesota locker room will be open for 7 more minutes until 7:50. Questions for head coach Don Lucia? First question for head coach here in the second row.
Hey Don, I think during that 4-goal spurt that you guys had, you also only gave up like 4 shots on goal. How do you explain that level of control over the game on both ends?
Well, I thought that for the most part, we didn't give up much defensively. We talked about Robert Morris' ability to score off the rush, and you saw that. All 3 of their goals were off the rush. But we didn't spend a lot of time in our zone. We didn't give up many quality scoring chances, but you know, we gave up a couple, and they made some nice shots on those. But I thought we did a good job with our puck movement in the offensive zone. One of the things when we watched video, we thought we could go low to high and use our defensemen. Our defenseman had a couple goals. I think that's one of the reasons we wanted to play Bretzinski tonight, because he's a good threat from the blue line with his shot and his ability to make plays at the offensive blue line. And so I thought we played as a 5-man unit in the offensive zone and had some good zone time, and I thought that was a real key for us.
Next question in the back corner.
Don, you said it's the type of game you needed to win, and something reassuring about 50 shots as opposed to a 2-1 squeaker in overtime?
Well, I mean, it was good to get off. Nate's goal, I think, you know, you start the game, and we had a great first couple of shifts, and then we take a penalty, and then all of a sudden we're down again. You go, oh my gosh, that's how last year's game started. Grant and I were talking before the game, we took like 2 or 3 penalties the first 10 minutes of the game, and you can't get any rhythm going, especially offensively. And then I think Nate's goal, I think, relaxed everybody a little bit, you know, the guys, and then we kind of seized control of the game, and that's the way we need to play. But you know, we know tomorrow whoever we play is going to be a better team than what we saw today, and we have to, you know, really dig in defensively, because you know, with the teams we're going to look to whoever we play tomorrow. I mean, it's, you know, 2 a little bit different types of teams, but you know, we've played them both this year, both very, very good teams, and you know, goals come at a premium this time of the year, and it's not about getting into a shootout. The only thing I am glad about is that guys like Klus scored, and Condon and Rao and Fashing, some of the guys that we need to score scored, but we generate a lot of great chances too. I mean, Warning had some good looks, Ambrose had some good looks tonight. Even though they didn't play a ton, I thought Gertler's line had some real good shifts in the offensive zone too. So it was one of those games where everybody contributed, like you have to have this time of the year. I mean, the teams are too good this time of the year. The games are magnified. You just, if you don't have everybody in your lineup playing well and playing really good this time of the year, it's hard to keep advancing. So, I mean, everybody's got to be on right now.
Next question. Here in the front.
Don, how do you think some of the younger guys in this program this year have just kind of handled the expectations that come with playing for the University of Minnesota?
I mean, there's expectations?
From what I've been told, yeah.
You know what, they just understand it. It's one of the reasons they want to come here. I mean, you know what, we have a lot of expectations for this program, and all you have to do is look up at the rafters, and that's something we talk about with all the kids, that, you know, when you're here, you've got 4 years max to be here and try to contribute and add to the tradition. And they come because of the banners that are up there before us, and they're here to put some of their own banners up. And you know, they did it with the, you know, the regular season Big Ten championship, and you know, now tomorrow we're playing for a chance to get to a Frozen Four. And you can never take that for granted. Even the freshmen, we talk. It's one of the messages I had. You have to have a little sense of urgency, because I've been through this tournament so many times. I mean, you know, I've been on teams that went further than they should have, and I've been on teams that didn't go as far as they should have, and that's all part of it when you're in it a lot. And you want them to understand that they have to have that sense of urgency, whether you're a senior or a freshman, because especially the seniors, this time of the year, the seniors have great urgency. I think you saw that Nate Condon's play tonight as our captain, and you know what, he had a great week of practice, and I'm not surprised that he, you know, scored a couple key goals for us tonight.
To follow up, what would it mean to you to match up with your son in a regional final?
Well, selfishly, I hope it happens. I'll enjoy being up there and watching the game. I mean, I've seen this team play live probably because the way our schedules work, probably about 10 times this year. They're a very good team, but St. Cloud's a good team, and they handled them pretty easily last year in our regional. So I don't know who will play. Both will be a little bit, depending on who we play, might be a little bit contrasting styles, but they're a team with 10 seniors, and in the last month, 6 weeks of the season, you could really watch and see their seniors elevate their play. But obviously, selfishly, I'm hoping, but Bob's obviously a great friend, and we won some championships together, coached together at the World Junior team this past year. So, I've got friends on both sides of the aisle on that one, and we're just looking forward to playing whoever. But selfishly, obviously, I hope it's Notre Dame, and I know my wife will be happy because she knows she'll be going to Philly. So, I just want to make sure if we go, we're going with our team.
Any other questions for the head coach? We'll go here in the middle and then over there.
Don, sometimes you never know what you're going to get in a game one of a tournament. Your team can come out flatter or whatever else. How do you look at this, how well you played tonight in terms of setting the tone for the rest of the
I thought we came out and played real strong in the first period. Like I said, we had a really good week of practice. We really did. And I thought our game day skate was really sharp this morning. We went about 15 minutes, not long. But, to me, that's always a pretty good indicator. I thought we had really good energy in the locker room. I think they respected their opponent, which you have to. I mean, Robert Morris, we talked about coming in, their ability to generate offense. They're, winning their conference tournament. Who's ever come out of that conference, how well they've done, as of late, and certainly closed the gap. And that's a credit to their league and the coaches and all their teams. And, they gave us a type of game I expected them to. But I thought our guys came out and was able to seize control in the first. You're up 4-0. We had some chances to really put the game away in the second, but to their credit, they took advantage of a couple of mistakes that we made and stayed within striking distance. So, they pushed us right to the end, which is not a surprise this time of the year. But I just thought we did a few things better from an offensive standpoint than what we did last weekend, which was good. And it's something we worked on all week. Was you better get some of those blue page specials, and we had a few of those today.
Where's your level of concern after watching them get back in the game?
You know what? That's a part of it. I don't have a level of concern. We won. We move on. If we would have been outshot the last half of the game or something like that, but that wasn't the case. I mean, we should have had a lot of distance after that second period with the chances. Their goaltender made some really good saves tonight, and the amount of offense we generate is great. But tomorrow's going to be about how well we defend. If we're going to move on after tomorrow, it's going to be what we do, how hard and well we defend, not how much we score.
So Don, in this past week, was there any talk about what happened in the first round game last year among the players, or you just as a cautionary tale?
Not me. I mean, maybe in the media a little bit, but the reality is that if you start worrying about what happened last year, good or bad, I mean, that's not the way you want to go in. I mean, last year was last year. This is a brand new team. You know what? And we lost to the national champions. I mean, basically the last 3 times we've been in the NCAA tournament, we lost to the national champions. You know what? And I don't think the people around here ever gave Yale enough credit, but that was a darn good hockey team, and they proved it the way they played. We lost a heartbreaker in overtime, but when you're in this tournament many times, you're going to have those. I mean, I had some pretty darn good wins in overtime too. One right here 11 years ago, and it's heartbreaking when you're on the other side of those overtime games, but that's the tournament, and that's what makes it so great. That's what people love when the upsets happen, and whether it's hockey or basketball. And there's a lot of happy people when Mercer wins, and you see them dancing and beat a team like Duke. But that's the thrill of the one and done. You don't know what you're going to get, and that's why the start to games are so critical in gaining confidence in the game, because it's a one and done. This is not the best of 7. It is one game, and in a one game situation, in our sport, a hot goalie can send you a long ways. So we're going to enjoy our win today. I thought our guys did a great job preparing all week long, and when you have good preparation, you usually have good results.
Question in the second row and then back in the corner.
Don, after last week's game against Ohio State, and you've touched on it tonight about this time of year scoring at a premium, you have to take advantage of those chances you get. How nice was it to see that kind of come to fruition tonight, and is is it better that with a quick turnaround tomorrow to have that and have that fresh in your memory?
Well, yeah, without question that, with our team this year, it seems like it's kind of been a little bit the second half feast or famine. We get 1 or 2, or we get 4 or 5. And you know what, and so you hope that'll continue on to tomorrow night where some guys that, feel good about themselves from an offensive standpoint because, let's face it, when offensive players score, they feel good. And, hopefully they can continue and score a few tomorrow because, we know we're not going to get 7 tomorrow. We're going to have to win a 2-1, 3-2 game no matter who we play.
Don, you mentioned the hot goalie and the goals coming down. What does it mean for an entire team to have a guy like Wilcox back there?
Well, he's our safety, and if we do make a mistake, most times he's going to make a critical save. And we didn't need him today to make a lot of critical saves, but we also understand that if we're going to be playing after tomorrow, that we're going to have to count on him more than we did tonight, and he's going to have to give us the type of game like he's given us all season long.
All right, thank you, Don.